I'm going to show you the exact process we use to increase repeat purchase rate with email marketing. So as you can see, this is one of our clients right here. He's getting about a 30% returning customer rate. This is pretty good, and I'm going to outline basically how we do that. The number one thing is I'm not going to take all the credit, and this is also working as a warning for you. People have already tried your product at that point. If they're returning, they have been to your store, they have purchased your product, they've been delivered, and they have your product in their own two hands. Like, they can basically see your product quality and they can see behind the scene. So there's only so much you can do with marketing at that point. So basically, I'm gonna get into like branding, the exact setup we use to get people to come back. But if your product is objectively terrible, it doesn't work, for example, it is not up to the standard that you've been advertising in your marketing, you cannot get them to come back. Like, this is not a video for you if your product is terrible. This is something I want to make super clear right now. The tactics in this video are only going to be useful if your product is of quality or like genuinely useful and it delivers on the promise that you make in your marketing. So the first point is get people results. This is super important, and this does not depend only on your product quality, right? You need to get them results by all means. So yes, you need to have a product that genuinely works, but this is not the only thing that you need to do. And I think if I use an example to demonstrate that, is going to make things completely clear for you. So that's why I'm using it. So for example, let's say you're running a hair loss company. So let's say your product allow people to get their hair to come back, for example. So this is your product, this is what you're selling. Now, people buy that purely because of the transformation that you advertise. You're telling them, okay, now your hair are falling apart. If you buy our product, then your hair are gonna come back. So this is what they're expecting. But when they buy your product, they're not necessarily going to follow the process that would get them the best results out of the product. So what you need to put in place is email sequences that teach them how to use the product, how to get the results fast, how to get them without much friction when they have been delivered your product. So this is going to be super useful, because if people don't get the result that they've been advertised, they're always going to put the fault on you and on your product quality, when in reality, sometimes it's completely their fault. So what you can put into place, again, as I told you, you can just teach them how to use your product in an automation. And another point is, even if you do teach them and they actually get the results they want, or they actually see. And the second point is, let's say they get closer to their dream results. So for example, let's say they had terrible hair before, now it's starting to look pretty good. But the thing is, because of your product doesn't get them the transformation in like 10 days, it might take them 45 days to get some results. Now, this is where this point comes into play. For example, you can tell them to take a picture of the before, so what their situation was before applying your product. And so this is going to be really useful, because 45 days in, they're not necessarily going to remember what their hair situation was 45 days ago. If they have a picture to compare it to, they're going to be like, okay, they're gonna look at themselves in the mirror, compare it with the picture, and be like, okay, this really made a huge difference. Let me order that product again. Another thing that is super important is staying relevant. So after people converted for the first time, you need to move away a little bit from direct response marketing and move into branding, because this is just gonna be honestly way more useful for you and is gonna get you way more revenue long term. And what I see a lot of brands do is, when they sell you their product, sometimes they're upselling you if they're a high level brand, but a lot of the time they're not following up with you for a long time. So for example, they're not teaching you about their product, how to best use them, but not only that, they're not contacting you ever again. So a lot of these brands have like 50,000 people in their email list that have bought from them, hundreds of thousands of people even, and they're basically barely even contacting them. So this is terrible, just because they are going to forget about you if you don't keep your email frequency high. But I'm saying emails here just because your reach on the email side of thing is guaranteed. So for example, if I'm sending you an email, I'm basically sure 100% that you're going to receive it, and if I'm doing my job right, that you're going to open it. But yeah, this is basically something you need to do if you want them to stay with you and not go to the competition. Another thing you need to do is give them VIP benefit. Buyers keep buying. This is very important, because once you got the conversion once, it's way easier to get it a second time. And what I see a lot of people do is they consider people who haven't bought the same as people who bought, and really people who bought should be getting privileged treatment. So for example, if you're launching a new product, they should be getting early access. If you're you're launching some kind of like typical offer, we're gonna get into offers later, but you need to treat them better than your average subscriber, and they really need to feel like your brand is getting them the best treatment. And again, everything is made so that they don't go to the competition. You need to give them exclusive perks that other brands are not giving them. Increase your email frequency, so multiple times per week, so they see you everywhere, on social media, in their inbox, everywhere that you're running marketing. The follow-up to that is I'm showing you how to set up literally everything in this video right here. So how to come up with the email that are going to convert them, how I write them maximum conversion, and how to design and launch everything so that you get the best result out of the setup. So I show you everything inside of this video right here, and it's unlisted. You can't find it on the YouTube channel. You need to access the link in the description. So request it, and I'm just going to send you the link to the video. This is pretty valuable. Again, so people in the comments are pretty happy about it. Go to the link in the description, request the video, you're gonna get it that way. Okay, next point is exclusive offer. So I'm expanding on the point we made earlier. You need to get them early access to a new product, give them exclusive perks, give them exclusive perks. For example, you can give them voucher on their second orders. So for example, as soon as they order, hit them up with something like, okay, now you have $5 off on your next order. This is gonna make them feel like they're missing out if they don't use that $5 coupon, because the way you perceive it psychologically is if you have $5 in your own two hands and you don't use it, it's basically wasted money. So by buying something, they're saving money. This is like a weird psychology thing, but basically it works super well. And for all clients that we use it for, it works amazingly well. And then bundle and save, subscribe and save. You need to extend your lifetime value, and bundles or subscriptions are a good way to do that. And basically the framework to launch these offers is you send an email advertising exactly what it is. So for example, the coupon code, if you have one, or let them know that they have early access benefits forever now that they are a customer. Send them an email about the offer. And another point really that I want to mention is you need to make the offer before they need it. Just because, well, let's say you're selling consumable. I'm going to take an example where you're selling coffee, let's say. If you sell them something that is supposed to last 30 days, you should make the pitch before the 30-day ends. So for example, at day 20, so 10 days before they run out of a product, you need to make them the offer, because people who ran out of your product are going to start looking for an alternative. And at that point, it's super easy to go to the competition. But if you have their email, it's super easy to send them something 10 days after they run out of stock. And yeah, this is something you're supposed to know. For example, if you're selling consumable, how long do people take before they are out of your product? Then you send them an email slightly before, and you increase your conversion rate that way. Don't let them run out of product and look for alternative. And then also, if you make them an offer, so for example, the voucher, and you let them 20 days to use that voucher, as we said right now. And then you need to send them reminders on that offer. So for example, let's say you're giving them $10 voucher on their second order. And then the second point is send them reminders continuously. For example, let's say you're giving them a $10 off on their second order when they order your coffee. Using the same example here, you need to continuously remind them that they have that $10 off inside of every email that is going out. In the footer of the email or inside of like the top section, include the discount code or the coupon, the voucher that you're giving out to them. So continuously, they should be aware of the benefit that they can claim. This is especially important if the offer lasts a while. So for example, if you're giving them 75 days to claim their coupon, don't send them one email on day 1 and one email on day 60. This is especially important if the offer lasts a while. So let's say you're giving them that voucher, but this time it's available for 75 days. If you only send them an email to make the offer in the first place and then you let them go, they're gonna forget about it, and 99% of people aren't gonna take you up on that offer. Now, if you want to work with me to have your email backend completely set it up for you, we basically guarantee that you will add $30,000 minimum to your monthly revenue. Then you only pay after it works. So we have a performance model. You only pay a percentage of the extra revenue that we generate for you, and we take care of everything, and you only have to approve the email that are going out. So we write them, we design them, and we launch them, completely done for you. If that's of interest, now if that's something you're interested in, just go to the description and apply to work with us. Thank you, and talk to you soon.